I want to talk a wee bit here about something called social buffering. And social buffering is how human connection with each other can help us to cope with stress. In other words, when you're having a tricky time and you feel supported by other people, how that support can actually have a stress buffering effect. I mean, on a personal level, I remember when my dad passed away a couple of years ago from a brain tumour, and that was a really, really stressful whole time through my dad's illness and when he passed away. And I remember having that overwhelming sense of support from family members, other family members. We supported each other, and from close friends, and that had a hugely beneficial effect. I don't know how it would have been if it wasn't for the support from family members and friends. And that's really what social buffering is. It's the buffering effect on stress of having people in our lives who are actually there for us, who support us through our tricky times. And it's not just that it feels kind of nice. Obviously it feels comforting emotionally, but there's a lot that physically goes on inside the brain and the body. And in fact, having support from others, that sense of connection that you get, triggers the release of a wee hormone called oxytocin, which itself has huge anti-stress effects in the brain and all throughout the body. In fact, in the brain, it actually dials down the activity of stress regions of the brain. So there's a neurological anti-stress effect right away when you experience this kind of buffering effect. But we also know that having support from others has an overall net positive impact on our mental health. We know that it reduces anxiety as well. We know that it also reduces fear. It has an anti-fear effect in the sense it buffers the sense of fear you get about stressful situations in your life. On a physiological level, there's a lot physically that goes on in the body. One of the things that happen actually is there's a boost to your heart. In fact, having support from others can actually reduce our blood pressure. And some of the effect of that comes down to the fact that feeling supported has a relaxing effect on the nervous system, because it's the opposite of stress in a sense. When you feel stress, there's a tension on the nervous system, which puts pressure on other systems of the body, which makes them have to work harder. But when you have a relaxing sense on your nervous system, which you can get from feeling support from others, then it takes the pressure off things like the immune system. And that's why we also know that having support from others can also support the immune system, but also takes some of the pressure off the cardiovascular system, allowing the cardiovascular system also to work more optimally. But there's an also more direct impact on the cardiovascular system from feeling supported from others. Our little hormone oxytocin that I mentioned a few moments ago, oxytocin actually binds on almost like parking on the lining of our blood vessels, and it causes a relaxation effect, which in a sense dilates your blood vessels. Your heart doesn't have to push as hard to get the blood through, so what we actually get is a reduction in blood pressure. So feeling supported from others, it goes beyond just that psychological sense of feeling comforted and supported to an actual physiological effect inside the body. It's almost like the love and the support that we're feeling from others is translated into a similar kind of feeling inside the body. And what we're getting here in that sense is a reduction in blood pressure. Now, the reason why all of these physiological and neurological things occur is because we're actually wired for connection. Eons ago, our ancient ancestors discovered that supporting each other, helping each other, was actually how to make our species survive and thrive. So what happened over time is helping behaviours became associated with overall health and well-being of the human body. So wind the clock forward to the present day, and that's why today, when we help and support each other, there's a whole host of different neurological and physiological effects that support our overall health and well-being, like dampening, buffering the effect of stress, of stressful events, but not just psychologically, but neurologically, and buffering the effects of stress inside the body, again, not just psychological, but physiological inside the body. So here's something I would invite you to do, is pause for a few moments today and make a list of who are your support people, who are your support circle, who is in your support network. In other words, don't wait until you're having a tough time in your life to suddenly think, who can I call on? Who can I lean on for a wee bit of support, a wee bit of help? Who can I ask for support or guidance? Because when we're feeling kind of stressed and having tough times, it can actually cloud thinking. So it makes it more difficult to conjure up clear thoughts of who can I actually ask for help, advice, guidance, or even just support. So take a few moments today just to make a wee list of who are my support people, who are the people I can ask for support, for comfort, who can I call on for advice about different kind of things, and just take a few minutes to get clear on who that support list is, so that if you find yourself in a stressful situation, then you don't have to think, you know exactly right away who you can actually call on for support. And at the same time, just make sure that you're also there to support other people in your life who are having a tough time.